As a hater with a list of enemies and a YouTube channel, it is my obligation to update you on all of their transgressions. Anytime one of my foolish enemies steps out and does something ridiculous, it is absolutely on me to tell you guys about that. And if I don't tell you about that, I am not doing my job, and it brings me absolute pleasure to tell you that one of my enemies has just done something silly. Hey ladies, how's it going? It's your friendly neighborhood gatekeeper Dan Frampton here, and you don't get to choose all your enemies all the time. Sometimes the enemies choose you. And in today's video, that happens to be the case, okay? Now, my list of enemies consists of a bunch of people that I don't like because they go out and do stupid stuff. But sometimes people have a problem with the stupid stuff that I do, and then they make me an enemy, and because I'm an enemy of them, they have no other choice but to be an enemy of mine. And when we're talking about Santa Cruz hardcore band Drain, that is what we're talking about, okay? Because I'm on record saying that I love this band and I see nothing but huge things in their future, okay? But today, they did something super silly that I have to call out. Now, if you're not familiar with Drain, they're a band from Santa Cruz, California, a bit on the come up. Their shows have been so crazy over the last couple of years that I was saying, oh my God, these guys are gonna get so big. And then they got signed to Epitaph, and I was also like, oh my God, these guys are getting so big. But it's well documented that there's beef between me and the guys from Drain. And where there's beef, there's drama. Where there's drama, there's a pot to be stirred. Where there's a pot to be stirred, there are feathers to be ruffled. And when all of those ingredients come together, it's time for me to make a video. And like I was saying, I wish Drain wasn't an enemy of mine, but they are. But just because they're an enemy of mine doesn't mean that I don't enjoy their music. So a couple months ago, I was going back and I was listening to some Drain, and I was looking at him over here. This is Sammy over here with the short curly hair. This is his guitar player here with the mustache, okay? Today's video is not about mustache guitar playing guy, okay? He likes himself some leather jackets, and that's all you need to know right now. We're talking about Slammy Sammy. And look at this big smile he has on his face. He looks like totally a friendly California bro. And actually, I had this thought. I was like, you know, Sammy looks exactly like he would fit in with the 1985 lineup of the Descendents. Look at these guys. Bill Stevenson over here with the hairy chest picking his nose. You got Milo Ackerman. They look like they would absolutely be in the same band as Sammy Ciamontaro. I don't know how to say his last name. Ciamontaro? Sammy Ciamontaro! So yeah, geographically they're from the same spot. They look like they're the same kind of person, just from like a different era or whatever. So it would make sense that they would be in the same ecosphere of influence, as it were. And it turns out that they were closer than I could have even imagined, because today is the day that Drain did something super silly when they dropped a cover of the Descendents song, Good Things. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Descendents, okay? They are absolutely pivotal in the evolution of punk rock music and hardcore music into pop punk music and all that sort of stuff. You can't talk about this style of music or any subgenre within it without talking about the importance of the Descendents. They took that kind of hardcore sound and just sweetened it up with some melody or whatever, and little did they know, a whole bunch of other people would be doing exactly that and making a lot of money doing so. So when I heard Drain, a band that I like, albeit enemies, were covering a song from a band that I considered to be in the same sort of realm, I got kind of excited. I was like, I can't wait to hear a Drain version of this Descendants song. It's gonna be so cool to hear Sammy from Drain do his thing and have his interpretation of a Descendants song. But it turns out that's not what they did. The silly thing that Drain did is they did a one-to-one version of this song. They just did the exact same song. They didn't do a Drain version of the song. They didn't do an interpretation of the song. They did a complete carbon copy and paste of this song. And believe me, if I want to listen to this song, I'm gonna go listen to one of the best bands to ever do it, do their original version of this song. I'm not gonna put on the Drain copy version of it. And what makes it so silly is they did like a whole music video of it that is actually looking pretty good. Now, if this was the Drain music video accompanied by a Drain sounding song to this old school, amazing classic punk rock tune or whatever, then that would be great. But here we got like Sammy trying to be a melody boy. Sammy's not a melody boy. He might have been inspired by melody boys of the past, but here he is doing the melody boy thing. And this is just like a trend that's going on with these guys in this scene right now. They got a little bit of popularity out of nowhere, and now they're like, oh my god, how are we going to capitalize off of this popularity? Oh, we got to do more accessible versions. Let's be singers now for some reason. So basically this song feels like a totally neutered Drain, okay? Yeah, it's great that you're paying homage to this amazing song from this classic band or whatever that means a lot to you and means a lot to the whole scene. Yeah, whatever. You should have done your own version of it. I know you're a good band. You're going to play it tight no matter what. It's not really that impressive that you just did that. So now I'm not really so certain about my prediction about them being the biggest band to ever be a band or whatever, because that was my prediction, that they were going to blow the water out of water, okay? But with a release like this, it feels like such a troll, like such a slap to the face. And it also feels like a bit of a cop-out. Just hear me out. Okay, so you want to be a hardcore band, but you want to dabble in like the melody because you want to be a little bit more accessible to more people. Okay? You want to broaden the range of your audience. That's cool. But why this is a cop-out is because you didn't do an original Melody Boy song. You went back into the catalog of old Melody Boy songs so you could be like, hey, okay, we didn't write the song. Maybe that's not our strong suit. We just did this old thing because we're inspired by it. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just came out and wrote this whole new melody stuff, then at least it would have that originality to it. Because that's what Scowl is doing, okay? They're a band coming from the same scene. They're friends with Drain or whatever. They're a little bit smaller, and they made the decision to be a little bit more melodic, okay? And they're just like writing their own kind of melody girl song. So as much as they're not my thing, I have a lot more respect for that kind of thing than I do for this thing. But when you go to the comments of this video there on the Epitaph YouTube channel, people are loving it. So who am I to say that it's a bad thing? If people like it, then people like it, and that's great. But for my money, I'm gonna be listening to the Descendents version. Okay, I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you're cool as hell. And until my next upload, you can watch another upload.